Hey y'all, I'm a thrill seeker, and the problem with being a thrill seeker is you always need this constant feeling of adrenaline. And the problem is that I recently discovered that I have a heart problem. Limits me from doing the things that I would do just on a whim. So one thing I found that could help me tame this adrenaline seeking factor of mine is getting an electric skateboard. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about why I chose Verreal over Evolve and boosted boards. Coming right up. Hey guys and gals, Aman here, and you're watching Heart Limits. So before I get down into why I chose Verreal over Evolve and Boosted, I want to first give you an idea of these two big technologies that are involved with electric skateboards. First of all is the belt technology and the hub motor technology. So the belt technology is basically there's a belt which basically makes the wheel spin, and the hub motor is basically everything is all enclosed within the wheel. So let me try to simplify this for people who know quite a lot about electric skateboards and for people who barely know anything and want to get into electric skateboarding. So let's do this. So you have the two types, as I said earlier. You have the belt and you have the hub. So let's start with the comparison. The belt is fast, has more torque, and there is more stability on the board, while the hub has less. Okay? Next, the problem with a belt is that it has more moving parts, meaning maintenance and the cost is higher in comparison to the hub. So if you're on a tight budget, a hub is actually a better way to go. When it comes to braking, the problem with the belt, which is sometimes not a problem, is that it's quite strong. So sometimes you can literally press the brake and you can fly off the board. But the beauty with a powerful braking system is that even though you go downhill, you can really depend on the brakes. Problem with the hub motors is their braking system isn't as great as the belt. So if the decline or the descent is too steep, you'd be surprised your board doesn't brake anymore, and it's happened to me quite a couple of times and it's quite dangerous. The problem with the belt is it's really loud, and it makes this really high-pitched sound like it's really loud. And the problem is, for some reason, it really pisses off dogs. So dogs would actually chase you, and in some parts of the globe using an electric skateboard isn't really legal. And if you're using a belt skateboard, for sure the police are gonna hear you and they are gonna chase you. So with the hub motors, they're really silent and you can barely hear any noise. So you're really quite stealthy. Cool thing is, when people look at you, they're always surprised. Wait, is that an electric skateboard? It's not making any sound. And lastly, for me, which I find the biggest and most important difference, is that when you have a belt skateboard or belt motor skateboard, the problem is you cannot free kick it when you're out of battery. I can probably just free kick it, you know, like kick it and then eventually use my battery and then kick again. Well, you cannot do that with a belt skateboard, for the problem that the belt in itself makes the wheel hard to spin, and it can only spin with the use of the battery. While with the hub motor, even though you're out of juice, you can still free kick it and you can basically go further distances. And so now the big question, why did I choose Verreal? Just so you know, this is not like a paid ad or a sponsored ad or anything. I just want you to make a good and proper choice whenever you get most probably your first, second or third, whatever, electric skateboard. So with Verreal, first of all, it's a hub motor. And given that France or Bordeaux in itself is rather flat, the city where I live in, Bordeaux, it's pretty flat, hub motor works perfect for me. And not only that, I find it awesome because in the design of their board, I'm not sure if you've noticed, there is this thing, which is basically a handle. And for me, portability is really important. So with that handle, it simplifies everything and I can just walk around with the board. Given the price point and the materials that they use, it's amazing because Verreal has contacts with premium suppliers for the big brands, and they are selling it at price points that are basically feels like giveaways. So for me, you're actually paying for a product which is a very good value for a price point which is really cheap. So for my board, I basically spent around, at that time, around $380 US. Right now, if you go on their website, their boards are sold for around $420 US, and that includes shipping. And when you compare it, if you get, let's say for instance, a boosted board or you get an evolved, you're seeing price points that reaches to around $1,500, $1,600 US, and that's a bit too much, you know. The beauty with Verreal is that their customer service is extraordinary. Whenever you have a problem, you can just message the person named Vic. You know, he's actually the owner of Verreal, and he really gets back to you really fast. And what I found amazing was that when I first made the purchase of their board, he was listing down many improvement changes that he gets from feedbacks from the boards he sells. So he really asked, what about water resistance? What about the braking system? What about, you know, all these things he's been asking in his first board. And now he's already come out with 2 other boards which are extraordinary. He's fixed the problem with the braking system. He's fixed the problem with how the acceleration is and everything. And for me, it's quite rare and quite hard to find companies that are really dedicated in making sure that the customer is happy. And with Verreal, I have to say I am very happy. And for me, in comparison to all other hub type skateboards, I find Verreal the best in the market. And with all the videos, all these stuff that I've seen on YouTube, even people writing blogs about it, I find Verreal a board where you can really meet your adrenaline rush. It goes up to speeds up to 38 kilometers per hour. Imagine 38 kilometers. And right now they have 3 types of batteries that you can put on the board. So one battery type lets you go to around, if I'm right, around 7-mile range. The second one gives you a range of about 14 miles, and the third type makes you go to around 18 to 20 miles of range, and that's really a long distance. So for me, distance, speed, price point, customer service, hands down, Verreal. If ever you feel like you have this adrenaline rush that you want to fill in, you want to tame, getting an electric skateboard is a really good option, a really good choice. And for me, that's what I did. So it's up to you how you want to tame your adrenaline. But for me, this was amazing. So once again, Aman here, and you're watching Heart Limits. I hope you like this video. I gave you a little introduction on electric skateboards, the technology, and I hope that Verreal has a place in your heart. Alright, see ya!